everyone, we're Christine and Kevin from Never Stop Adventuring, and after full-time RVing for almost 4 years, we have some definite ideas about must-have and nice-to-have RV gear.
We've had a lot of time to try this stuff out ourselves, so we wanted to share the things that we've really enjoyed or that you might just find useful. So if you're an RVer or you might want to become an RVer in the future and you don't already have something like these, you might want to consider them.
Since we plan to have a couple of other upcoming videos about the best gifts for RVers and the essential items for new RVers, we're not going to talk about those sorts of things today, but we have a bunch of other things to recommend. So without further ado, let's go to item number 1.
All right.
Item number 1 is a crock pot or an Instant Pot, and these are great because of the large meals that it can cook and the ease of preparation. It's also nice because you can just pick this thing up and go to somebody's campsite if you're going to a potluck or going over to somebody's house. The other thing with this one, it's an 8-quart Duo Crisp, and it has the air fryer functionality, so you just pop this little guy in there and use the air fryer lid instead. So it has lots of extra features. Item number 2 is our air purifier. We originally got this because we were in the path of wildfire smoke when we were out west, and it was getting into the RV, it was unpleasant. So we got this and it really took the smoke out of the air, thank goodness. And we've come across wildfire smoke a few times since and it's done great. We also have a pet, and so in the RV, especially the small space, you know, the pet hair and dander kind of gets all over the place. That helps clear it out, and we'd highly recommend one.
Item number 3 is a small space heater. These particular ones are about 1500 watts on their high setting. There's also a low setting, and some of the other features that we really like with these is that you can set a temperature, and most importantly, it has a tip over switch. So if it tips over, it won't burn your house down. What we really like about having these is it saves a lot of propane in heating in the winter time. There are some campgrounds that will specifically say no space heaters because it does use a lot of electricity, but we've actually only encountered that once in all of our travels. Item number 4 is a dehumidifier. In the wintertime, you can have problems with moisture buildup in your RV. You can get condensation on your windows that can actually drip down onto the walls, and sometimes it even builds up under your mattress. And so, besides having a possible mold problem, sometimes that can even damage your walls or the wood in your RV, and you really don't want that. Some people go the route of a moisture absorber like Damp Rid. We went on the larger side of a dehumidifier. This is a 30-pint model. It's designed for a small room, but because our RV is 400 square feet, it really takes care of the moisture problem for the entire place. It's also nice because it has a pretty large bucket, so we can run it all night long and not have to get up and dump the water out and then rerun it. So we almost always run it at night, and then when we're not using it, it just rolls right away behind our chairs.
Item number 5 is shoe storage. Shoe storage is incredibly important because it's kind of the bane of every RVer's existence if the shoes are flying around everywhere, which they were for us, especially as a family with 4 people and several pairs of shoes each. There were shoes all over the place. We bought the IKEA Stell shoe cabinet. It comes with 4 compartments, so 1 for each person, approximately. And I say approximately because sometimes Kevin's shoes fit in here and sometimes I take up more than my fair share. But we like this one because it kind of looks built in, because without the feet, it fit right up against the wall. We could mount it to the wall, and it's still narrow enough that we can get by. Another good option are the IKEA Trones. A lot of RVers use those because they are even more lightweight, and because they come kind of in one compartment separately, you can put as many as you want side by side or vertically on top of one another, depending on what your space looks like. Item number 6 is a new mattress. All right, RV mattresses are notoriously awful, and ours was no exception. It was bad.
We didn't even end up spending a single night on it. When we got rid of it, it was still wrapped in the plastic and we couldn't even give that thing away. Right away, we upgraded to a Plush Beds 8-inch natural latex eco green mattress.
That's a mouthful.
That was a lot. This has probably been the most comfortable bed we have ever owned. It has been awesome.
We wanted something that wouldn't have all the chemical emissions, and they were having a really good sale. So we found this one and we've been so happy with it. But I wish I would have filmed when we brought it in here. It was in this long cardboard box and we had to angle it just right to get it in through the door and down the hallway. And then when we opened it, yeah, had a vacuum seal, open that, it goes remember that?
I do, yeah.
I wonder if we had to, if we could even get this thing out of here.
I think it would be a bit of a squeeze, but it would go.
So meet us outside for a few outdoor items next.
Let's go.
So we're going to continue with our list of items now outside. It is another day because the light got away from us the other day. You might hear the roar of the ocean a little bit as well because it is right there.
On to item number 7, a sewer hose support. This is the Camco 20-foot side winder, and it's nice because it keeps the sewer pipe up off the ground and gives it a little bit of slope to get better drainage, which makes it so you never have to lift it to get all that gross stuff moving along. Item number 8 is a 42-gallon waste tote by Barker. We originally bought this just for boondocking, but we found ourselves in a bunch of campgrounds this year that didn't actually have a sewer hookup, and this has been tremendously useful. It's really nice to be able to empty your own wastewater without having to move the RV, because it takes a lot of the stress out of water usage when you know you don't have an easy sewer hookup. Item number 9 is an inexpensive voltage tester or multimeter. Just for a few bucks more, you can get a clamp meter. They all come with leads so that you can check voltage on an outlet or at the campground pedestal. And the nice thing about the clamp meter is that you can actually put this around a wire to see how much current is running through it without having to get to the exposed wire to test it with the leads. Something like this will help you troubleshoot any kind of RV electrical problem that you might run into. Item number 10 is an RV rated bike rack. The hitch on an RV is almost always further away from the rear wheels than it is on a car. So when you're going down the road, you're going to get a lot more up and down travel back here, and that is really famous for breaking bike racks when you're traveling down the road. So we've been really happy with this Swagman Escape e-bike rack. Not only is it RV rated, but it's also e-bike rated, so it can hold 2 bikes at 60 pounds apiece. 4 years on, this thing has held up really well, and it's even survived being backed into by another RV.
Item number 11, folding outdoor camp tables. Now, depending on your needs, you might want small ones like these, kind of side tables, kid tables. We use this for just putting extra things on, staging area when we're cooking outside, grilling. You might also need a larger, taller table, and you might think, well, why do I need one of those when campsites often have picnic tables? Well, you'd be surprised how often you won't find a picnic table at a campsite, and then especially if you do quite a bit of boondocking, unless you bring your own, you won't have one. A larger one is on our wish list right now as well. Next up are camping chairs. We have the Timber Ridge folding director's chairs, and we love these. We love how supportive they are, how sturdy, especially in the seat and the back, and we really love the side tables. So you can put your drink in here in the cup holders, you can have a slot for your phone, surfaced here. These have been really great. Next item is an outdoor carpet. So this one is an 8x16 polypropylene outdoor rug from Camping World. They say it's fade resistant, mold resistant, mildew resistant, which is really important. But outdoor rugs are just so important because they create nice space for you to set up your outdoor stuff, especially like in this campground where it's kind of dirty and muddy and debris everywhere. You have a clean area.
I would go as far as to say that it doesn't feel like we're set up outdoors until the rug is out. Item number 14 is a propane fire pit. We love this thing because there's no smoke and just the convenience of being able to turn it on and off at will. If we get back and we want to have a campfire, but we've only got 20 minutes before we need to put the kids to bed, we can just shut it off, take care of them, and then we can come back out and enjoy it again later. You can almost always use them even if there's a fire ban. And another really nice thing is that not every campsite always has a fire ring, so you have your own.
Number 15 and last and final item is outdoor lighting for ambiance. To help create the ambiance and set the stage for relaxed enjoyment of your camping space, we just use some strands of Christmas lights. We put a few strands together and hang them however it seems to work. If we have our awning out, we loop it over the awning. We have a couple of clear command hooks on a couple spots on our RV where we can loop the lights and stake them out. It's just really nice. We've seen other light strands with larger bulbs or some in different colors. So find whatever lights you like, set them up, and enjoy.
Those are our lists of must-have and nice-to-have RV gear items. If you think there's something missing from the list, check out the associated blog post where we've listed all of this stuff out and more.
Subscribe so you don't miss the next videos on best gifts for RVers and essentials for new RVers. We hope to see you then.
Bye!
Bye!